like, how do you know, when it's time to move, Mom? That was one of them. The house was too big and it was too isolating, right? Another thing is, there are independent living.
Right.
So
So it's
independent
not a nursing
living
home.
and assisted living and skilled nursing are all three different options. And independent living, like your mom is independent living but
Right.
owns, there's also places you can go where you can buy the duplex on site of a place that has the gradual independent
Right.
assistant to nursing,
Right.
and you can own your own home there.
Typically,
or
when you
villa.
sell those, you sell it back to the association.
Yeah,
Right?
a lot of times you sell it back. So
But they're going to provide meals. There's going to be social activity. They're going to probably have some limited health care. Maybe somebody check in, make sure you take your pills.
maybe, but maybe a lot of times not, because
Right.
now
They're
you're
all
getting
gonna
into
differ, okay.
assistant. Now you're crossing into assistant. So, like my mother-in-law, she went to independent living where she rented. So renting is an option.
And some of
There
those
are-
can be subsidized by HUD, and you can get a discount. They'll
Yeah.
income-based rental plans.
Yes. So there's just 55 and over apartment complexes.
Right.
This place is Gambrill Gardens, which is a whole living community. So you're in, like, they must have, I don't know how many buildings there, 4, 6 probably at least, maybe 7. Some are HUD assisted, some are in private pay. But what's so cool about this community is that when you walk in, it's like walking into a 5-star hotel. They have these beautiful common areas with fireplaces and family rooms. They have a theater. They have a workout room. They have a hairdresser on site. They have a let's play cards or games room, right? And there's a family room with a pool table and a library and TVs all over the place.
And I think that's similar where you go from
Patios.
stage to stage there, right?
No, that
that
is
is
just complete independent living.
So Friendship Village is similar, but maybe that one goes from stage to stage to
yeah,
stage.
that's actually quite different. This is solely independent living.
Okay.
The cool thing about it is they're secure,
Right.
right? Because it's a big place and you have to go through the main doors to get in it, which always has a person at the desk. So it has security. Number 2, it has a little pull cord behind your bed, and you have to pull that by 10:30 or whatever. And if you don't, they're going to come look for you.
Wow.
So they had a little bit more security for the aging, and everyone there was 62 and older.
Okay.
So she had a great network of friends.
And
They went
did
out to
stuff,
dinner.
right.
They shopped. They did Christmas shows. They had dinner together. So they have a big dining area, and you can get the meals sent to your room. But they would go down and have social time.
Yeah.
So social interaction is a big deal. She was in a HUD assisted one where she got 1 meal a day, all her utilities, right, paid for, and it was under $1,000 a month.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's based on your ability to pay, and they had private pay. So independent living is different than assisted living, and different than skilled nursing, right? So you can go rent in a community, or you can go rent an independent living community like this. So there's just like apartment style with pools, or there's this type of independent living. People are like, I didn't know they were HUD assisted. Google
I
Lutheran
didn't either.
Family
Yeah.
Services. They're terrific at helping you find HUD assisted senior living, independent living. Just really great about it. Really great. So let's just, talk about assisted living.
Yes.
Assisted living's different.
That's more like the Friendship Village where they've got.
Yeah, and sometimes you can just go to assisted living. Here's the deal. Medicare never ever pays for your housing. Ever. Medicare is only for healthcare, right? So you're like, okay, I get the Medicare, they're going to, no. Medicaid, on the other hand, if you qualify for Medicaid and then you qualify, your medical condition, your health condition qualifies, they will help pay for skilled nursing. They do not pay for assisted living. Medicaid pays for skilled nursing. Medicaid may pay for some in-home care, right? But not for assisted, not for independent, and Medicare never pays for housing, just so you know.
It's good to know.
It's different things. In Medicaid, you got to do a complete spend down to $6,000.
Right.
So
and it's crazy
Medicaid's
expensive.
So
To try and pay it on your own is really outrageous.
yeah, so either there are insurance policies you can get for staying at home. There's insurance policy you can get to help you pay for nursing homes and stuff. So, so you're staying at home,
Right.
you're downsizing into a villa like Glenn's mom did. You're independent living where you might buy a villa or buy one on site where you can adjust the living. You can rent into the apartment complexes or something like a Gambrill Gardens, which is a lot of fun for my mother-in-law. She did great there. And then there's the skilled nursing option.
Right.
So in skilled nursing, this is 24/7 care we're talking about. And you know, if you're aging yourself, do your family a favor.
Have these discussions.
Don't wait.
Yes.
But here's the second favor to do for them. Don't tell them, don't ever put me in one of those places.
You know, it's funny you say that because we had a situation where same thing. My friend cried because her mom was going to be in a nursing home, and the mom was upset and tears and pray. And then I didn't hear anything for a couple of months, and I asked her. I said, "Sarah, how's your mom?" "Oh, she loves it. She does this and goes to the symphony, and they do this and bingo. I've never seen her happier." I agree. That's nothing.
You just have my mother-in-law went from a single family home to the independent living at a Gambrill, which was so fun. But recently, she had to go to skilled nursing.
Right.
Now, it was a joint decision. She knew because of her medical condition that it was time. And what are your resources for assisted and skilled nursing and social workers? She had a 10-day hospital stay. The social worker at the hospital said to me, "Do you want me to refer out some referrals for skilled nursing?" And I'm like, yes, that would be better than me trying to find it.
Exactly.
And she found me a great one
Yeah.
that I didn't know existed. So medical professionals that do this all the time, social workers from hospitals, if you or your parent are in a hospital, contact the social worker there. Fantastic.
And I think, the perception of what a nursing home was like when I was a child, in the 70s, 80s, and what it is today, there's two different things.
Two different things.
The population ages, these have all gotten better. They take care of the whole person. There's there's activities.
There are. I mean, it's different. It's not independent. You can come and go as you please. It's not like you're, have to, whatever, can't still come and go out to dinner with your family or go stay overnight with your family, right? So skilled nursing is when you really do need the 24/7 care. Now, she's at St. Andrews in Eureka, which I was super surprised that, all the halls are carpeted. People are so friendly. It's incredibly friendly. And she's amazed at how much she likes it. She toured it with us, and I didn't know what she was going to say. She was the one who said, "Hey, have you looked at some?" Right? So the mistake people again is waiting.
Waiting and not communicating, not having a plan, and getting to a position where other people are going to make decisions for you.
That's
where
a
you don't wanna
thing,
be.
right? So you or your aging parent all of a sudden have a sight problem, break a hip, whatever, and you're like, "Oh my God," right? So these discussions and really checking things out, really you should do earlier. But anyway, so she toured it with us, and we toured it first, and then it passed our muster. So then we said, "Okay, Mom, you want to come out?" And she did. And after she toured it, talked to the people, even picked out a roommate. She sat down in a chair and just went, "I am so happy." And I'm like, she was at peace about the decision. So she knew. So she's been there for a while, and the food's really great.
Yeah, that's good.
That was another thing, right? The place smells great. I know you're like, okay, is that a thing? But
Yes.
this is the mental part of
They
it.
smell like
Yes, it
medicine,
is a
yes.
thing.
Right.
But yeah, they do a wonderful job there. It's a small one-level facility, but they have a lot of fun. Of course, they have music in. So did Gambrill. Gambrill had music in. They had opening day of the Cardinals, events. They had a lot of fun. They had a line dancing together. They were on a big video thing. Went and watched them all line dance. So, so it's, you have a lot of options that you'll move through these phases.
Right.
But Lutheran Family Services, social workers, and healthcare professionals that help you make these moves are all fantastic resources because it looks like over 11 million older adults are spending at least 30% on housing.
That's it's amazing, isn't it? That you would think at that point in your life, it's never going to be zero because you got taxes and insurance.
I know, but so if you're going to do that, start looking at your options. Glenn's a great resource on if you do own, what are the liquidity options? Because this is all about flexibility and liquidity.
Yes.
Is really what this, and it is about lifestyle, right? What lifestyle does you need, does your aging parent need? And I knew my mother-in-law needed social I knew that was like absolute number one. She wasn't even using a walker until she went into the nursing home. She only uses it just to be safe. She could really still walk around without a walker. But due to her other things that she has going on, this was why it was time. And I think pick somebody who's going to be your power of attorney.
Yes. Have a discussion with your children. Children have a discussion with your parents. It doesn't have to be morbid or maudlin. It really can be positive, but you keep going back to this. You don't want other people making your own decisions about your housing and your health.
No, and if you stay too long,
which we've seen.
If you stay too long, then the family member that probably doesn't have a job is the one's going to come live with you who needs money. Then there's that, and maybe you want to provide for them, but maybe you don't want them being your power of attorney. Maybe you don't want that person being the one who's in charge of how long you're going to stay in your home, because it gets very complicated. I had a doctor. My mom, it's my doctor, and it was same my mom's doctor. He gave me some really great advice one time, because I was like, when would I know it's time for her to move away from the house and into some assisted or nursing home type of deal? And he said, one time she's not safe. One time she turns that oven on and leaves it on, or that stove on, the stove top on and leaves it on because she had memory issues. One time they do something that they're really unsafe, you need to start looking. Like that's probably the time, the clue that you need to start moving. My mother-in-law was starting to wonder, and we were getting a phone call at 2 a.m.
Oof.
I just looked at my husband, I'm like, it's time.
Yeah.
And even though you're like, one day she's doing really great, one day she's not. Look at the not days, not the good days. Yes, they're going to have good and bad days. You're going to have good and bad days. Get ahead of it. Get ahead of it.
And don't be scared of these skilled nursing resources, older communities. There are people that are thriving there. People that are having very positive experiences.
We just moved her from the Gambrill Garden Independent Living, and those ladies were so nice. They came, they helped us take things to Savers. They it's like, well, Mom doesn't need, this whole big old thing of clothes. She's never cleaned this out, so, there was a lot of them that could use all. They were just so nice, and they were such a great community. There was a guy there that lived in Florida, and out of all the United States, he picked Gambrill Gardens. And they're like, why did you pick it? He goes, it's the best deal.
Wow.
So Midwest, it goes back to the affordability of the Midwest, even when you're aging. So if you think things are expensive, be grateful that if you're living in St. Louis, because it is so much more affordable than most of the United States when it comes to these things. So
I'd say, summing up, have the conversations, be intentional, have a plan. You got to be flexible because life changes and life happens. But when you have it set forth in you, who's going to make these decisions, who's going to help you, who's going to take care of you when it's not safe to be alone.
And I think as you age yourself, or your parents age, sometimes they want to include all the kids. Pick the kid that's got the financial acumen to them, and who is a paperwork person to do this part of it.
That's what I do for my mom, and my sister, who's a nurse, takes care of the health part of it.
Right.
So we kind of divide it up. Yeah.
There you go. So, take a look at what your kids are good at and maybe give them each a job. Yeah. But, at least figure it out, have the discussion early. Hope this helps, because if you need liquidity, you're going to call Glenn. He's got all kinds of options to help you with liquidity. You can even go buy a house with a reverse mortgage, right? So we look at our reverse mortgage podcast. We went into depth about that.
Each of us have real world experience and empathy. And want to give you good, solid advice and help any way we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So give us a call for a handout. If you are looking for a handout, it's like, oh, I'd love to have a handout on some independent living places or some skilled nursing places. Definitely, we've got a great handout for that. Just text handout to us or put handout right here underneath wherever you're seeing this video at, and we'll send it to you.
Awesome.
Right?
Great. Yes.
All right. So thanks for joining us on the Fundamentals of Real Estate, where we are here to help you
Build wealth
live your dream lifestyle
and leave legacies that matter.
Amen. Okay, we'll see you next time.